Alright friends, welcome back to Questions and Answers, third week of 2016. During the year 2015, Chinese economy has grown by 6.9%. It is the slowest in 25 years, and I would like to tell you a few points. In the year 2014, Chinese economy has grown by 7.3%, and in 2015 it has grown by 6.9%, and as per the predictions of International Monetary Fund, the economy of China is going to grow by 6.3% in 2016 and 6% in 2017, and there is also a feeling that China is inflating these numbers. The actual growth is expected to be much less than what is projected by Chinese government. 46th Summit of World Economic Forum was held in Davos. Davos is in the Alps region of Switzerland, a beautiful town in Switzerland, and this World Economic Forum is a non-governmental organization started by Klaus Schwab in 1971 in Switzerland. In Global Talent Competitiveness Index, GTCI, released by INSEAD Business School in association with other organizations, India stands at 89th position, and unfortunately India slipped by 11 places in comparison to the last year. And another important point is India's position is the worst among BRICS countries. It reflects a shortage of proper skilled manpower in our country. The education system needs reforms, and at the same time the top three countries are Switzerland, Singapore and Luxembourg. Singapore is an Asian country and Switzerland and Luxembourg are European countries. World's largest canyon was spotted by China during 32nd Antarctic expedition, and all of you are well aware about Sangpo Canyon in Tibet region of China. Please look into this picture. This is Sangpo Canyon, and at the same time Grand Canyon of United States of America. All of you are well aware this is formed because of Colorado River and in the Arizona state of United States of America. And what is meant by canyon? The canyon is basically the deep gorge of huge length, and it is quite evident from these pictures. And now it is noticed that world's largest canyon was spotted by China during 32nd Antarctic expedition. It is quite wider at the top, and it is, you can say, deep gorge of huge depth and running over several kilometers. That is the canyon, and this famous Grand Canyon is very much famous across the world. That is in Arizona state of United States of America. Under Atal Pension Yojana, Government of India extended the timeline for co-contribution facility up to 31st March 2016. Under Atal Pension Yojana, government is contributing 50% of our contribution, subject to maximum of rupees 1000. Government will contribute 50% of our contribution subject to maximum of rupees 1000, which is valid for a period of 5 years, and this facility will be available for Atal Pension Yojana accounts opened up to 31st March 2016. Please don't forget. Under Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana, 276 villages across the country are electrified in 1 week. Overall, 18,452 unelectrified villages will be electrified by 1st May 2018. I would like to tell you one point in this regard. This Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana is basically for electrification of rural areas, so as to ensure 24/7 power supply in rural areas. It is also with a view to separate agriculture feeders from the domestic feeders. And at the same time, the Prime Minister during Independence Day address in the year 2015, that is on August 15, 2015, the Prime Minister stated that all the unelectrified villages in the country will be electrified within 1000 days. So if you count 1000 days from Independence Day of 2015, it comes to May 2018. So all the unelectrified villages, that is 18,452 unelectrified villages, will be electrified by 1st May 2018. Right? Name the state which got the status of first organic state in the country. It is Sikkim because of the efforts of Sikkim government for the past 12 years. Sikkim was declared now as the first organic state. The efforts include supply of organic manures and ban on sale of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. And the Prime Minister released the logo of Sikkim Organic, and at the same time the Prime Minister during his visit to Sikkim addressed a conference of state agricultural ministers at Gangtok. Right, recently the Prime Minister visited Sikkim and Assam. In Assam, he laid foundation stone for IIIT at Guwahati. Name the country which imposed a state of economic and social emergency. This is France, because the unemployment rate in France increased beyond 10%. Unemployment rate is normally tolerable up to 5 to 6%, but it crossed 10% in France. Under these circumstances, French President François Hollande unveiled a €2 billion plan to revive hiring, basically to give impetus to employment. This €2 billion plan was brought by French President. Right? Look into the next one. The government and the Farc rebels both request United Nations mission to oversee the end of their decades-long conflict. This Farc rebels and Colombian government were fighting for the past several decades, and now they decided to end that, and now both of them requested United Nations mission to oversee the end of their decades-long conflict. And if someone asks Farc rebels, please don't forget the country we are talking about is Colombia. Colombia, please look into this. It is the northern part of South America. Name the co-founder and CEO of Uber who visited India recently. It is Travis Kalanick, and SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son also visited India to attend Startup India Stand Up India program on 16th January of 2016. All the scheduled commercial banks, excluding regional rural banks, some non-banking financial companies and some insurers will move to Indian accounting standards Ind AS from 1st April 2018. Government of India advised banks, insurers, some NBFCs to switch over to the world-class standards of accounting. In the world, there is international financial reporting standards, and India wants to align with it. With that view, government gave deadline to align with international financial reporting standards in India, which is known as Indian Accounting Standards or Ind AS. So the banks have to adopt this new accounting system by 1st April 2018. Name the bank which formalized Memorandum of Understanding with the London Stock Exchange for the listing of $500 million green bonds. Here, listing will take place in London Stock Exchange. Once these are listed, then trading will take place. The second point is green bonds. Green bonds means the bonds where the money will be utilized for environmental friendly projects. And the bank we are talking about is S Bank, please don't forget. Name the state where blanket ban on polythene bags came into force on 21st January. The state we are talking about is Uttar Pradesh, and the petition to lift the ban will come up for hearing in the High Court shortly. Name the state which launched Amma Call Centre through toll-free number 1100, which will function on 24/7 basis. This is Tamil Nadu we are talking about. The Chief Minister is Jayalalitha Jairam, and this is to receive complaints from citizens on 24/7 basis. Round the clock, it will receive complaints from citizens. With that purpose, this Amma Call Centre was established. Author of the famous book Capital in the 21st Century, Thomas Piketty recently visited India, and he belongs to France, and his book is famous across the world. He is Thomas Piketty. Name the country where 4,000 people were born with microcephaly or abnormally small heads due to Zika virus. This virus is creating panic, especially among Latin American countries. and its spread is widespread in Brazil and Colombia. So far 1.5 million people are infected with this Zika virus, and in the subsequent classes we are going to learn more about Zika virus. And remember, Zika is the name of a forest in Uganda, right? So the country we are talking about is Brazil in this case. During Republic Day celebrations, a 4-day cultural extravaganza, that is Bharat Parv, was held at Red Fort, and basically it is to showcase the cultural might of India. It was held for 4 days at Red Fort. International Solar Alliance will come up at Gurgaon, and it consists of countries situated between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. There are around 121 countries are there, and India will provide rupees 100 crore initial corpus, and which is expected to grow up to $1 billion. And two things I would like to tell you in this regard. The objective is to get investments of around $1 trillion. You may ask, what is $1 trillion? $1 trillion is $1,000 billion. And the objective is to get $1 trillion investments in solar sector by 2030. And the second important point is, any research and development in any country must be available to all universally. There will not be any intellectual property rights or patent rights. Whatever new technology is devised in solar energy, that will be uniformly accessible to all the countries across the globe without any constraints. 1400-year-old Saint Elijah Monastery was destroyed by ISIS. This unfortunate incident took place in Iraq. Which of the following aircraft carrier is set to retire in 2016? It is INS Virat. INS Virat originally belongs to British Royal Navy. The name was HMS Hermes, which was commissioned in 1959, and India purchased it in 1986 and commissioned into Indian Navy as INS Virat, and after 29 years of illustrious service, it is going to be decommissioned in 2016 after International Fleet Review, which is being held at Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh. Environment Ministry ordered the closure of 150 industrial units that failed to provide 24/7 OCEMS. Previously, Environment Ministry gave guidelines for the industries along River Ganga to establish online continuous effluent monitoring system, which is known as OCEMS, and some of the industries, around 514, already installed, and for 94 they are in progress. For 150 industrial units which have not taken any steps, Environment Ministry ordered the closure of 150 industrial units, and the pollution of River Ganga is the biggest problem we are facing in this country. NR Narayana Murthy panel gave recommendation with regard to regulatory mechanism of alternate investment funds. You may ask, what is alternate investment fund? Alternate investment funds are the funds like angel capital, venture capital, private equity. Normally these are invested in budding companies, startups or small companies. These are known as alternate investment funds, and NR Narayana Murthy committee was appointed to give recommendations with regard to regulatory mechanism, and the committee gave recommendations, and at the same time, please don't forget, alternate investment funds are regulated by Securities and Exchange Board of India. Name the bank which became the first private sector bank in the country to open branch in Africa. The bank we are talking about is ICICI Bank. It became the first Indian private sector bank to open branch in Africa. It opened branch at Sandton in Johannesburg in South Africa. Which of the following became the global partner with ICC? ICC is International Cricket Council, headquarters Dubai, and global partner will be MRF Limited. And brand ambassador for MRF, all of you are well aware, is Sachin Tendulkar, and this partnership is there for 4 years with ICC. 10th edition of joint naval exercise, that is Nasim al-Bahr, began on 22nd January in Arabian Sea. This is between India and Oman. Please don't confuse the countries Oman and Yemen. Yemen is into civil war, but Oman is basically the country with stable governance. This will focus on greater interoperability to counter maritime security challenges. During 2015, foreign direct investment flows to India reached $59.4 billion, and if you compare it with previous year, in the year 2014, FDI flows were around $34 billion. They increased to $59 billion. There is an increase of 75%, and other points, if you like, this report was released by UNCTAD. UNCTAD is Geneva-based United Nations organization, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. And if you look at global FDI flows, they increased to $1.7 trillion and the highest since the global financial and economic crisis during years 2007 and 8. Second important point is global foreign direct investment flows increased by 36%, whereas India's FDI increased by 75% from $34 billion to $59 billion. Under BS6 norms, all of you are well aware, BS6 norms are going to be implemented from 1st April 2020. Under BS6 norms, sulfur content will come down from 50 ppm to 10 ppm. And basically, these BS6 norms are a view to reduce pollutants released from various internal combustion engines and industry. Shani Shingnapur temple is in the news. It is situated in Ahmednagar district of Maharashtra. Here the controversy is with regard to allowing women to the temple. Several groups are demanding women should be allowed to visit this temple, but there is a bar on entering women to the sanctum sanctorum of this temple. Name the station which became the first in the country to be equipped with high-speed Wi-Fi service. This Wi-Fi facility in railway stations is being given in collaboration with Google. That is the first and fundamental point which you should not forget. The second thing is Mumbai Central became the first station, and in 2016 itself it will be extended to 100 stations. Mahamana Express, inaugurated by the Prime Minister, connects Delhi and Varanasi, and this is the luxury train with bio toilets and LED screens in AC compartments, named after Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya, the founder of Banaras Hindu University. Under the gold monetization scheme, Indian government will pay banks a commission of 2.5%. The commission being paid to banks under this GMS increased to 2.5% because not much response was received for this scheme, and it is perceived that banks are not taking much interest in spreading awareness among the people under this gold monetization scheme. Amit Shah was elected as President of Bharatiya Janata Party for the second time for a tenure of 3 years. He took over somewhere mid of 2014 when Rajnath Singh became the Home Minister of the country, and during his balanced tenure of 1.5 years, he was credited with some successes in assembly elections, but the setback pertains to the loss in Delhi and Bihar assembly elections. Now the faith is reimposed on him for next 3 years to be the Bharatiya Janata Party president, and at the same time, please don't forget, Bharatiya Janata Party increased its membership during Amit Shah's tenure to 10 crore. Name the country which made amendments to the constitution so as to accommodate the demands of Madhesis. This is Nepal. Madhesis are in Terai region and they are of Indian origin. There is a lot of misunderstanding between Madhesis and the Nepali government, and through the amendment, 2 specific issues were addressed, that is proportional representation and seat allocation in parliament, and Madhesis are however not happy with this. ONGC got environment clearance for project in Krishna Godavari Basin in Andhra Pradesh. It involves 45 developmental wells and other infrastructure with a cost of rupees 53,000 crores, and at the same time, please don't forget, it will produce 51 billion cubic meters of gas over a period of 16 years and 27 million cubic meters of oil in 12 years. PV Sindhu won the Malaysia Masters Grand Prix Gold Badminton title by defeating Kirsty Gilmore of Scotland, and this is her 5th career Grand Prix Gold and the first in 2016. Look into the next one. India Arab League first ministerial meeting was held in Manama. Manama is the capital of Bahrain, and our External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj attended it. And Arab League is the group of countries which speak Arabic language, and there are 21 countries after the expelling of Syria, and its secretariat is based in Cairo, Egypt. And recently, India Arab League ministerial meeting was held in Manama, and it rejected associating terrorism with any religion, terror or ethnic group. Name the committee which gave its report on simplification of Income Tax Act, that is Justice R.V. Ishwar Committee. It is pertaining to the simplification of Income Tax Act of 1961. Carcasses of over 150 Olive Ridley turtles washed ashore near Pantha Niwas. The state is Odisha. Normally, these Olive Ridley turtles in large numbers come to Gahir Matha, that is the place, the mouth of rivers Devi and Rishikulya in Odisha coast, and these turtles come for annual nesting, but unfortunately 150 died recently, and it is suspected that this is due to the hitting of fishing trawlers in the sea. There is a ban on fishing for a distance of 20 kilometers from the beach, but sometimes it is violated by the fishermen, and whatever the reason, 150 Olive Ridley turtles were died near Pantha Niwas in Odisha coast. And look at the next question. Gunter Bustek was appointed as CEO and MD of Tata Motors. Tata Motors was without CEO and MD for quite some time after the death of Carl Slim on January 26, 2014. Now, the former COO of Airbus, Gunter Bustek, was appointed as CEO and MD of Tata Motors. Look at the last question. Alice Vaidjan was appointed new CMD of GIC-RE. What is RE? RE is a reinsurance company. It is the first of its kind in this country. It will not be into direct insurance. It is a reinsurance company. That means it takes the partial risk of insurance companies. That's why it is called reinsurance. And Alice Vaidjan was appointed new CMD of GIC-RE. Right friends, with this let us conclude questions and answers for third week. Please do join for other modules. Have a nice day. Thank you.